Lovely. Iron press building. Yes. Heyo and welcome to another episode of Pine Harbor County, our Cities Skylines 2 Let's Play, where we will use and abuse the operating district mechanic. I hope everyone has had a wonderful week and is ready to kick back and relax with this week's episode. So in today's episode, we are going to be implementing our first signature buildings as well as satisfy some of the RCI demand throughout this Pinecrest Junction. We will also address a few items on our TLC checklist at the end of the episode. So without further delay, let's jump right on into it. So the first signature building I want to place is the musician's mansion. I do want to place it in this general area right here near where our schools are. So let's kind of jump in here and let's plop this bad boy in first. Awesome. And look at that. They have such a nice view of the skyline right here. Well, for now they do. This skyline, or this view that this signature building has of, I guess what we could call central or downtown Pinecrest Junction, is probably going to get destroyed because later in today's episode, I do want to build our first college when we pull out our TLC checklist. So I thought it would be kind of fun to place the college in this area, which again, we'll delve into a little bit later on in this episode. But the main point I wanted to make is this asset to me, I don't know what it is. I'm sure it is, in fact, based off some rock star's mansion. But to me, it looks a lot more like a fraternity or like a dean's house. So down in the comments below, let me know what your thoughts are on this. Do we want to turn the Rockstar Mansion into some lore for Pine Harbor County and make this the Dean's or a fraternity? And if so, let me know your thoughts on the name of the fraternity, if applicable, down below. So next, let's place in our iron press building right here. So this is Books to Nourish the Mind and Soul with luxury apartments on top. The bottom floor bookstore stocks everything from ordinary to the esoteric. I kind of really like that. I'm a big book fan myself, so let's plop this right here. And then let's fill in the area around it with some new types of zoning. So I think it'd be kind of nice to actually get that. Let's squish these guys down. And building away we shall do. Okay, so I had to take a second to kind of stop my regular recording for a moment just to admire the corridor right here. So the iron press building is this one right here next to us, and I threw in some mixed density zoning, so right here to the left. And just, I don't know, something about this, it kind of reminds me of home. So where I live in the New England region of the United States, I don't know, it screamed Portsmouth, New Hampshire, or like, you know, those coastal cities. I had to stop and admire it. I'm sorry. Sorry, but not really sorry. All right, now that I'm done being distracted, let's finally place our paper factory. Since Pinecrest Junction holds a lot of specialized forest industry, I thought it would be most appropriate to plop the paper factory in our industrial sector for this city. So the paper factory is a bit of a beefy asset. So if we come in here and take a look, like it's huge. It's really big. So I do want to place it right here on the man-made pier we made a couple of episodes back. But we're probably going to have to do some more terraforming here. So let's jump on into that. the paper factory, I think it also makes sense to add some parking. Since this area, this factory actually, holds quite a lot of workers. So let's go in and let's add some parking right here. I think we're going to go with the very large lot. Okay, and let's move our parking to about 35 monies here. I'm such a mean person, making people have to pay 35 to park at work. So I did place 2 very large parking lots because I noticed that this holds 1,000 employees. And these lots should hold, I believe, yep, right here, 320. So we've got about 600 here. So 400 people won't be able to park, but we're going to be solving that in just a second. Let's connect our alleyway right up here. And then for a little bit of decoration, let's add a little roundabout. Cool. I also think it makes sense to extend the tram line in Pinecrest Junction, this one right here, over to the factory to kind of help workers commute from pretty much our main residential, which is all the way up here, to the factory down here. And I want to do that with that trick that we learned in episode 4 so that the tram can reverse on itself. So what we're going to do is we're going to first come in to our medium roads. I think this is actually already, yeah, this is already upgraded to have a road with a median. But what I am going to do though is I'm just going to take a little alleyway. I'm just going to put a little node. I don't know if Cities Skylines 2 technically even uses nodes, but in Cities Skylines 1, that's what you would have called it. And then let's come in, grab our tram line. Actually, let's start with our tram stop. And let's put it... I want it to snap to the road with medians. So maybe I have to upgrade this first. I think that's what I have to do. Yep. Okay, so let's actually... Let's upgrade first. And then, so this is the trick mainly here. So let's delete this road now. You see how, let's see if I can get a better view here. This is what I've kind of learned a bit as I practice this trick. Right here you can see one side of the tram line and the other. Now we have a one-way tram right here, so just one side of the road has track on it, and it's not connecting right here. So if you come in with your tram stop and you plop it, now you see that there's a line here. So I'll kind of show it really once again, just because I think this is such a cool little, again, I don't even know if it's a glitch or not, but it's such a cool little trick that we can just plop that, and now we have a tram line here again. So when you come and grab your line, which we're going to grab the one on the left-hand side here because I want the people to be collected first from the residential area, excuse me. When you drag the line over here and you connect it to the stop, now it'll just kind of go back and forth and reverse on itself. I'll leave the simulation running for a second so that you guys can see it live in action, and then we'll meet back up. Yep, so see? It came in, and it just reversed and goes right back out. Again, I don't know if it's a glitch, if it's a trick, if the developers meant for that to happen, but yeah, it's pretty spectacular, and I hope that they leave it this way. Okie dokie. So in today's episode, I did want to address some of the demand for RCI, so I think now would be a good time to do that. To begin, we need to start by laying out our roads and maintaining our road hierarchy. So I'm thinking our expansion is going to be in this area right here, kind of around our hill here. So I want to upgrade this interchange, and I actually want to put in another trumpet roundabout. I'm really loving these roundabouts because you can actually connect it to the couplet systems and then run an arterial right off of it. So in a second, I'll kind of show you what that looks like, but let's jump in and put this put this junction in first. Okay, looking good. Let's unpause the simulation and make sure we don't get any adverse effects. You know, broken power lines, broken roads. Okay, looks good. So here is the plan. The parallel roads here will continue to act as our regional roads, while the roundabout will act as an independent arterial connecting to the existing one on this side of the city. We will then fill in the remaining space with connector and local roads, so let's jump into a time lapse and start drawing those in. Okay, so I wanted to stop and take a second to kind of give a huge overview of what was built. So first, little disclaimer, this was my first time building with curvy roads in years. So this may get edited down the line. I just wanted to try something that went a little bit more in a line with this hill, I guess, for lack of better words. You know, the words of a city planner plays, respect the topography. So that's what we did here. What I also did here is I wanted to make a couple of moments where the roads just naturally came together in a straight line, and I kind of really like how that came out. I think it added a bit of dynamic visuals, I guess, for lack of better words, to our road network. And then I added some turnaround points, so some little one-way roads here, and then right here, I guess, I don't know if we can call this a custom interchange or not, but I wanted to have slip roads coming in and off this arterial here. All right, now all that is left is to start zoning the space and let the simulation run. First, let's begin with residential expansion. I want the area out here to be single family housing, as this is the farthest point from Pinecrest Junction proper center. I still don't really know what we want to call this area here, but this is the heaviest density because this is where we began building. So as we taper out here, I want it to become more residential. So let's jump in and let's do that. Okay, so you may have noticed that I purchased 2 tiles here as well and drew a gravel road right here. It's kind of going to be an experiment. We have, if I pull up the overlay here, we have an ore deposit right here. And I really want to try to take advantage of it, but this is going to be a bit of an experiment as ore does create air pollution. Our wind is going this way, so I think as long as I build past this mark here, we should be okay. So I'm actually really quickly going to come in right now. Going to grab our road. And I'm just going to leave a little mark. How about right here? That we have to build past... Oops, still on curve. We have to build our ore past this point. Or delete some of this, depending on what we feel. But it'll be an experiment. We will see what happens with that. All right, so I know we just did a lot of residential, but that will fill in over time. So let's jump in next and work on some of the commercial. I do want to focus low density commercial out in the farthest areas so that the residents out here can still get, like maybe a convenience store or something like that. So let's jump in and start zoning that in as well. I think that should be good. And finally comes in the workplaces with offices and some industry zoning. So I'd like the offices to stay closer to this side of the couplet system and the industry to stay more up here. For now, we will leave this area kind of blank because I want to see where the RCI demands lead us. If we pop back into our air pollution and our air overview, right here should actually be okay for either commercial or residential, depending on what our RCI demands end up being. So for now, let's focus some more industry, in this area here, and sprinkle some offices throughout as well. I sprinkled some offices around here as well, just to get a little bit more mixed zoning in here. Okay, now that we have all the zoning in, let's go in and plop some parking lots, and extend our tram line so we can better serve the additions to Pinecrest Junction here. So I found something super funny here. So you know how we've been cranking up the parking fees for everything? Okay, so we're making 96,000 monies per month on parking. I think at one point I saw this get up to like close to 180 or something like that. That's just kind of funny to me. Okay, how about we tackle our TLC checklist next? First, our landfill is beginning to fill up quite a bit here, and to help empty it, I want to build an incineration plant. At first, I thought I would build a different trash asset since this kind of progression reminded me a lot of Cities Skylines 1. So I kind of wanted to experiment with maybe like a recycling center or something like that. But then as I was kind of playing around, I saw how chunky the incineration plant actually is. And I thought it'd play a really nice role in Pinecrest Junction's skyline. So let's jump into the development tree, spend the 2 points, and plop the incineration plant down. So you may have saw that I caused a bit of havoc here. I forgot this was a one-way road here. So what I did do is I upgraded it to a two-way. So that way service vehicles could easily turn left and end up with the rest of the grid here. I also wanted to mention that I went in for the incineration plant for a few reasons. One was that it generates power. So what I do want to do is take this power line and connect it right away. And then we will leave, well, we're going to first actually select our district. And then we're going to leave some extra space for some of the upgrades. So we have extra incineration furnace, extra garbage truck depot, and then the storage extension would probably go right around here. But because I can't turn these upgrades off individually, for now we'll leave it as is. I would love to see that in a future patch where they're a little bit more modular, I suppose. So I could plop this here and then turn the upgrade off until I needed it, but then I have it built ready to go. All right, so next we need to desperately address our water needs. So we are bleeding through both water and sewage right now. So let's start with our sewage needs first. And I want to address that by coming in to our development points and unlocking a water treatment plant. This way, we can stop polluting the river here and start treating the water instead. Okay, so let's come in, get the wastewater treatment plant. I think that should work for now. Next, I do want to come down here and just delete our poop puddle here. There we go. That way we can start cleaning out the river a little bit more. At some point, I think I'm gonna want to place this here, but we will see. We will see. Let's jump in. Yeah, so our sewage is now taken care of. Lovely. So I also want to increase our water capacity. Now we can do this by either increasing our capacity on our existing groundwater station or by plopping a water tower probably up near the forestry area. So let's kind of take a look here and see what might be cheaper and what makes most sense. So the water availability did get better. I think this is probably because we have that extra upgrade on our sewage plant. But I wouldn't mind supplementing a little bit additional. So we could do an advanced filtering system on this, which will reduce the pollutants in the intake water. So that reduces pollutants. It doesn't increase. Or we can add an extra pump, so an additional pump that significantly increases water intake and delivery capacity. So that costs us 7,000 monies and creates an additional, we'll call it 37.5 water output. Then this is 30,000 and 30,000. So I think we're gonna okay. So here's what I think we're gonna do. We are gonna add the upgrade here. But then we are going to still add this water tower up here. Because selfishly, I think it's going to kind of look cool. But we have it. Okay, I think we're going to be kind of stable around this area, so let's move on to the next item on our checklist, shall we? Okay, so next on the checklist is building our first college. As we mentioned before, I see this Rockstar mansion as more of a fraternity or a dean's house than an actual Rockstar mansion, so naturally I want to place it near what will eventually be called Pinecrest Junction Community College, which I think is going to go right about here. So let's kind of go in, let's plop this college down, but before we do that, let's come back in to our progression, to our education, and actually unlock it. Okay, so let's come in and let's select Pinecrest Junction as the operating district. And let's rename this to Pinecrest Junction Community College. So next on our checklist, I wanted to come in and adjust our budgets a bit since we're going on to episode 5, and every now and then, like right now we're in the green and we're making money, but we have quickly dropped down to negative 4,000. So I want to come in to our city economy, and I want to start with the services in particular. I don't think we really need to have 100% right now for our transportation, so I'm gonna bring it down to about 60. And then I do want to actually come in and also decrease our garbage budget. I know we just planted, yes, because you plant incineration plants. We plopped a bunch of garbage. So I do want to actually just knock this all the way down, because if we come in to our garbage, we still have very, very good coverage. And we are actually going to begin... Actually, we can leave it just as is. It looks like it empties itself. No need to start emptying or anything like that. It'll just feed right on in. Lovely. So, I also finally wanted to come into taxation, and I wanted to decrease timber and paper just a bit, because mainly these are the two items that get produced here. And I'm wondering, before we do that, just want to make sure we're not importing it, because that's really what I don't want. Yeah, so we have a deficit on timber, and we're good on paper. So let's come back in to taxation. Let's decrease timber just a little bit so that we can encourage more timber factories to come in with the generic zoning here. And then finally, something I forgot to do when we turned the cargo harbor on a few episodes ago was actually assign cargo lines. So I do want to kind of go in here right now and start doing that. So I'm going to come to our water tab, and then so we have passenger and then we have cargo. I am just going to link us up to the outside connections. Now, does anyone know, can we change the name of the outside connections? If you know if we can do that without mods or map editors or anything like that, let me know. Because I would love to be able in the future to kind of connect all of our regions up here. Okay, so I want to just see. Okay. So it does look like we have a ship connected already. That's good. That is very good. Sweet. So I think this is a good time to start wrapping up the episode. We got a lot done and a lot built today, so I'm really excited to delve in and start doing a beautifying the build time lapse. So let's turn up some music, kick back, and put in some nice decorations. Awesome. Well, thank you for joining us this week for another episode of Pine Harbor County. If you enjoyed today's episode, please consider hitting the like button below. If you are new to the channel and want to continue following along with the series, please smash that subscribe button and don't forget to comment below on whether we should repurpose the Rockstar Mansion as a fraternity or a dean's house. Until next time, I hope you have a phenomenal week.